Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 9 of my European city series. Today we're mostly filling in here some spaces in our Oldtown area, and the most part and the things that I want to do in the basic meaning of this episode are the allotment gardens, or basically the garden lots. What is this? This is kind of like in the area behind our gasometer towers. I decided to fill it in with some very big walls and some gardens beneath it and in it. And the reason for this is kind of like that I thought about it would kind of be realistic to have kind of like this relaxation point for our citizens in the middle of the town. And you would just see how this is turning out and how this would be looking like. But at first here I'm trying to build a more modern building, and you have already seen this was looking very weird. I wanted to use some more modern complex there in the town, because it was kind of like me thinking that from a realistic point of view they would have started to kind of rebuild some areas and added in some more modern areas and more substantial buildings and stuff like this. So I thought about getting in there the first ones, and not everything turned out like it should, but I was also just testing around a lot and trying to get everything to work and to look good. And yes, so this is what we're doing here. Now I'm just searching for buildings that I got that I can kind of use, and also looking at what I can do kind of like for a very interesting shape building, because this is also a very important thing for me to kind of make some more interesting shapes, not only squares of buildings and stuff like this. So that was just experimenting a lot and looking at what I will have got and what I can use. And here, so this is basically what we're doing in this episode. Not too much, not too fancy, but it is kind of like these gardens. I love how they turned out. And also the episode of today will bring a lot of change for the other ones, and about this I want to talk right now because it's kind of an interesting change for you guys too. And this is, at first we also got some city names already from you guys. There will be a voting. You guys will be voting what you think is the best, and we will take this then. And the voting should be around now, or it should have been on the beginning of the video. I don't know where we put it in. I think it will be in the beginning. So it will be an info card with voting in it what should be the name of the city. And then for the next part we will be renaming it. And yes, so here I'm just adding in some more areas, some more lots, and filling in some space. Nothing too fancy, nothing too realistic, not too unrealistic. It is okay, I think. And yeah, I'm there. I was then there at the point I was thinking, okay, I think this should be enough for now. I will now kind of start off with the gardens. And for this one, I was taking the area next to the pedestrian bridge that we built, I think 2 episodes ago, sorry. And yeah, this is not a very big area. So I was thinking like, okay, I can do some offices there. But problem with offices for this area is it would be very local. This would be a plus. But it would be on kind of like this highway where you don't want to have the office. So I was like, okay, this would be kind of like the place for very cheap kind of allotment where you could kind of buy yourself a small garden, just kind of as an escape from the city. And I thought about, okay, maybe building a wall around it. Like you have kind of like this thinking like this was a fort in another timeline, and now they just kind of transformed it to these allotments, because it would be kind of like in a very central place. It would be like, yes, this might be the place where I want to have a small garden. And yes, this is what I did then there, and there I'm just doing a small parking lot in between, nothing special. Just kind of, it is serving his purpose and not more, so it's definitely not my best build, not my worst build. It's working out for the time being there. We won't have too much looking onto it, so this should be fine. There I'm just using this and a node controller to kind of make it actually a curb there that you can go on top of. Nothing too fancy. And yes. And in the premiere of my last video, the American series, Veronpost2 wrote me some very helpful mods that I've actually already activated at this point, but I haven't used until now, so that I can hide the weird signs and stuff like this. So this will be in use after the next episode, I think. And there will be also some stuff about the American series kind of changing. I will tell about this later on in the American video. This will be released next week, I think, so you will have to wait for this until then, but yes, there will be some kind of change, some kind of important change though. And there I've just detailed it with a lot of decals, just make it look cracked and not too good. And then I was like, okay, I need a fence there just kind of for a privacy reason. And then I found these walls, and man, do I love these walls. I just like them quite a lot. And yes, so here I'm moving them in. And they also having kind of like these outer pillars, and these pillars, I like to use them quite a lot because, well, the reason that I'm using them is better said that I think they're looking great, but there's a kind of this realistic feeling to them, and I was like, okay, yes, I kind of wanna use them. And so I've spaced them out like they would be realistically, and then I've just copied them over and over. And now we're already coming to the houses. This was a project for itself, I think, because I popped them down and they had vanilla trees and stuff like this, weird hedges, and actually not vanilla trees, but very interestingly looking model ones. So I was deleting all the hedges and all the trees. And then I was adding in my own hedges. So I've skipped a lot of the things here. And then I'm just kind of like here adding in the first hedges and taking a look at how big they will be, and they're enormous. For an allotment they are enormously big, but it is working out for me for one simple reason that I would kind of imagine that these would be a very expensive one, so I imagined that it would be kind of more rich people living there and having their kind of oasis there. Here you can see what I did the whole time, what I skipped out. Just searching through the props and then deleting them or changing them off. And I haven't even deleted all of the decals, I've used some of them, and I just hid some parts that was hideous with some bushes. Not the best way to do it, but I think it is working out for me, so it's like, yeah, okay, we'll keep it like this. Shouldn't be too bad with this. And yes, also a little sorry that I'm not uploading more than once a week, but in this week actually I would have got some time, but I'm using most of my time in Affinity Designer to try to get in some at least decent work and working around some stuff and just working some very simplistic designs out and just training myself on this. I actually had a lot of fun with this, so I might even consider doing a job into this direction, but I'm not sure about this. I will have to think about this and even have to write with some digital artists that already know how the work is for them and if they got kind of like enough jobs and stuff like this. But yes, so here I'm just adding in a lot of things. And these hedges are kind of like very strict in the middle, very strict going straight through. And thinking of this is that this would be kind of like you would have to kind of pay for a bigger one, and then you would have kind of like these different steps of paying for them, so the different sizes. And it would always end in the middle, so this was my thinking. And I'm very happy actually how this turned out. I'm loving the place. It is looking very good. And it wasn't actually that easy for me, but I think it turned out quite well. And I kind of know a bit about them because my grandmother lived close to one for a long time, and we were going in there for a long time because she had some friends there, and this was basically what I was doing there. And yes, so these are maybe you already recognize them, these are the European suburbia buildings from the vanilla game, and they are literally pretty good. So I like them quite a lot, and they are quite good for detailing, and I like them. I also like the texture of them, I will just say. So yes, there we already have finished the halfway through, and then I'm just kind of like adding in another row of houses, because I felt like it would be in there. And yes, so here I'm just adding in all the fences once again. And while I'm doing this, I would appreciate if you'd consider what do you think I'm missing in my city and what we should be building. And please write it down in the comments down below. I would try to answer every single comment. And yes, I'm very, very much appreciating feedback. So I would love if you guys would be able to do this. And also, if you just want to tell something about my improvement, what I can do there, how we can improve it even better, please just write it down in the comments down below. And just thank you for the support. And also, if you're new and you're liking what you're seeing right now, would appreciate if you'd consider subscribing to me. We're close to the 600 subs, 20 subs away, and I think this would be incredible if we would get this in about half a month. So please, if you're watching this video and you're considering it, please do it. I'm trying to upload, well, I'm actually uploading once a week, so I haven't left out a week for about 2 weeks now. No, not 2 weeks. 2 months? 3 months? Something like this, so we're pretty constant with their videos. I'm pretty glad about this, pretty happy. And yes, it is completely free of you without advertisement, so please subscribe, it's free. It is a free way to support me, and I would just love this, thank you. And now I will stop the advertisement for myself, and I will come back to the video. We are kind of like right now starting off with adding in the last hedges, and now I'm adding bushes and trees. For this one I'm using the trees from Bidalmo. I just love them, they're very lovely. And also the bushes of him, I just like them, they're very incredible in my opinion. They work out very well for my theme. And yes, this is just what I'm doing here, plopping in a lot of them, about I think it is 10 different ones, and then I'm just plopping them everywhere. It is looking too repetitive, it isn't having kind of like a specific kind of schematic theme that I place them in. I'm just placing them in like this, and they're turning out very good like this. So if you don't actually know, in Austria is right now holidays, so we have 1 week free, but sadly I can't go skiing because of Corona. And it isn't that bad actually. I at least got some time for free time and for some hobbies of me. And if you're actually interested in what I'm doing in graphic design, I would appreciate if you'd go on my Reddit. I'm posting there every single thing that I'm doing, so this is kind of a great way to see what I'm doing in my free time when I'm not doing City Skylines or learning for school. And yes, I'm appreciating this quite a lot. So also the logo is temporary, so I will be changing it up quite a bit, but I will have to try a bit more around to find a logo that I'm happy with. And yeah, we will see about this, how it will be turning out. So here I'm just adding in the grass. It is very small grass steps, but they're making such a great difference to when you don't have any of them. And they're looking way better than the grass stripes. Grass sprites, not stripes, sorry. And now we will be starting off with detailing, adding in some like props, and then adding in some fences and adding in some curbs. These curbs, I took myself a lot of time to add them, but I add them to every single road. I think I haven't recorded all of it, but it was about 1 hour just placing curbs, but it definitely was worth it. Looks very good in my opinion, and I quite love how the whole area turned out. Looking very finished and very realistic. Would be kind of like the place where you would kind of also think of like a very chilled place, but at the same time they have very strict rules there. This is also the reason that I'm only using hatches, because when basically imagine being a rule about the fences that you allowed there, and the people were like, okay, no, they will make no fence, they will make hatches, because there we can decide a bit more. And stuff like this, so it is looking like a very chilled place, but what I've heard from other people, it isn't that much chilled there in these places most of the time. But yes, this shouldn't be stopping us from building them, so there we're going, adding in a lot of these curbs. And these curbs are also kind of like in very good detail because they're aligning to the ground, so this means when I'm changing something they will be still going together with the ground, and they won't be elevated up in the air. And yes, so there I'm kind of trying to get a small variation in of the look of them. And I'm adding in a lot of different bushes just to hide off some corners and weird looking stuff. I'm sorry. So yes, here I'm just trying to get everything to work out like it should be. And yes, so here I'm just adding in some bushes, some very beautiful flowers. Nothing too special. It is mostly also the same ones, just kind of to get in the same authentic look. Just some rose bushes, stuff like this. And yes, so I still got a lot of ideas that I want to do in the city, so I'm right now looking at a lot of pictures of a garbage processing plant and a power plant, so definitely be keen on waiting for this. And I will also be making some more rural areas around the city, but the city will be taking quite a big area of the map, I think. But I'm still needing to do there quite a lot to get it to work, to look good. There are also this pine. I just love how this pine looks there, so just adding in some pines too. And yes, so this is looking very good and turning out very well. I'm very happy with this whole area in particular, and I will be building some more areas like this. And I will for now leave you. I'd appreciate if you consider subscribing to me and consider to give a rating for this video and a comment. I'd appreciate it quite a lot. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments down below. And hopefully see another video of mine, and have a great day. Bye!